Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We did the first video today looking at weather next week to 10 days, and that took us to Christmas Day. I said that we would have a look at the GEFS ensembles and go through them one by one to see what they were all showing. I hadn't got time to do it for the first update, so I said I'd come back this evening and give you a look at GFS ensembles for the whole of the Christmas week. So it starts, I think it starts on the 23rd of December, and it goes through to New Year's Eve tonight with the extended part of the GFS ensembles. We won't have a look at the first part because that's pretty much set, and you want to know how things are going to be panning out over the next sort of week to 10 days. Check out the first video. Essentially, we're going to be breaking down the ridge next week and turning more unsettled as we run up towards Christmas. So we'll have a look at the GFS ensembles in a moment for the Christmas week, but before we get on with that, just very quick to mention the ads. There's links to articles on all the pages. Have a browse through widgets and click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, if you're having a space website, thanks very much for doing that. Christmas shop is still open, so if you've got any Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, click the green button that says Christmas shop. It takes you to our Christmas shop page. Then from there, you go through the Amazon banners because you've gone from Gazza to Amazon. We get a revenue fee on the things you'll buy. You've still got time to get Christmas presents out to you, but time's getting on. 10 days is going to be Christmas Day, so don't leave it too much longer. And thanks to everybody for doing that. So we're going to start off just with the operational run of the GFS. The latest is in. This is the midday run. This is the operational run is essentially the highest resolution of all the GFS ensemble members. So in theory, it should be the most reliable. And we use this for the videos every day, of course, the operational run of the GFS. So this is what it's showing for Thursday, and we're in a westerly pattern then. We're breaking down the ridge, as I said. We're going to be turning more unsettled through the course of next week. Initially just rain. Eventually, we might start getting some strong winds. This is how things are looking on Friday. I'm using Firefox tonight, so it looks slightly different to what you're used to in terms of the view. This is how it looks on Friday 23rd from the operation run again, bringing that low pressure through. That's how Christmas Eve is looking. Pretty stormy there with the operational GFS, particularly for Scotland. Very wet and windy up there. Christmas Day goes to showers on the operational run. That's a little bit cooler. Showers might be wintry in the north, but it is very flat, very Atlantic driven westerly pattern. Beyond that, into the period running up towards New Year, again it's all staying very, very flat and unsettled as well, and we run up towards the New Year, which is going to be the 31st of December, the last day of the month, of course, and still looking very flat and very westerly. So clearly the operational run of the GFS, once it gets these westerlies in, it wants to really go to town with them and keep them going through to the new year. Now, it's often what happens with westerlies when they get going, when you get a zonal flow. That is going to be very, very, very difficult to break out of it. So let's see what the GFS ensembles are suggesting for this Christmas week. We're going to start off with the operational GFS, starting off with the control GFS, which used to be the operational. About a year ago, this would have been the operational GFS. Then it had an upgrade, so what we call the operational now that's the operational run, and the control run is what used to be the operational run, and it's at a slightly lower resolution. So this is somewhere between the rest of the ensemble members of the GFS model and the operational run in terms of its resolution. So on the 23rd of December, we're bringing in this westerly flow. That looks very zonal. This is website metrosteel.fr, by the way. Find a link to this website on the links page. Through to Christmas, the control GFS looks very unsettled. High pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. And that looks pretty mild as well for Christmas Day. Bit of a long fetch southwesterly there. That would be very mild to the south. After Christmas, we build this ridge up across the southern parts of the country, and it eventually moves up over the UK. So we do break out of that unsettled zonal flow quite quickly with the control GFS control run. We're breaking out of it fairly quickly, although that's still quite mild. In front of the isobars, they're still coming from the mid-Atlantic around the top of that ridge, so nothing particularly cold, just we break out of that unsettled stormy flow fairly quickly. This is ensemble member number 1 then, and again, starting off on 23rd of December, all looks very Atlantic dominated, deep area of low pressure in the Atlantic, bringing these wet and windy conditions through. Let's carry on running through. That's how we go through Christmas Day. Looks quite stormy there, Christmas Day into Boxing Day, lots of heavy rain. And then we carry on through to the New Year, and it looks like we're staying pretty mild, really. Although by New Year's Eve, actually, we're starting to build a little bit of pressure there, just to the north of us, between Scandinavia and Greenland. So that possibly suggests turning a bit colder there by the New Year on ensemble member number 1. This is ensemble member number 2, and it shows wet and windy conditions across the country on the 23rd of December, bringing up to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. That all looks very Atlantic driven and potentially quite stormy. That's Boxing Day into the 27th, breaking out of that unsettled zonal flow, building in high pressure, though not in a particularly cold position. So it just goes on with those westerly winds with ensemble member number 2 through that Christmas week. Ensemble member number 3 is looking like this, and again it's high pressure to the south. If we carry on running through, we get a bit of a northerly swipe there, Christmas Day in towards Boxing Day, so that's a little bit colder there on that one. Could bring wintry showers to the north. After that, high pressure coming back, so again breaking out of that zonal flow quite quickly. That's probably cold and frosty there running up to the New Year. Ensemble member number 4 is looking like this, and again very Atlantic driven through the Christmas period, and then we go on into run up to the New Year, and high pressure again gradually building and breaking us out of that unsettled weather. So this unsettled period, but setting up next week and goes over this period, probably doesn't last to New Year. We probably go back to high pressure, be perhaps not cold, by the New Year. That's certainly the suggestion within the GFS ensembles. This is ensemble member number 5, and again it all looks very mild, very Atlantic driven as we're going up towards Christmas. Will be some rain, particularly so in the north and the west. Eventually, by New Year's Eve, it's pulling that high pressure out to west and turning winds into the north, so that one turns a bit colder by New Year. Number 6 shows a deep storm moving in across the country on the 23rd, and then after that we build the ridge up from the south. There it comes, breaking us out of that zonal flow, but it is still pretty mild up towards the New Year. This is ensemble member number 7, and this has us in a long effect southwesterly as we start on the 23rd of December. Christmas not as unsettled on this one, more of the high pressure influence to the south particularly, and then as we run up towards the New Year we just keep things westerly and pretty mild there through towards the New Year. Certainly nothing particularly cold showing up yet. Go through to ensemble member number 9, and that one looks unsettled on the 23rd of December with lots of rain, low pressure dominating, and then the high pressure builds up from the south and takes over, breaks us out of that zonal flow. So it's turning drier there after Christmas up to New Year, but also probably on the frostier side. This is number 9, and again stormy conditions out to the west on 23rd of December. That carries on through Christmas period, particularly so in the north, less so to the south, and then high pressure building up from the south as we run up towards New Year. That looks very mild and possibly even a bit spring-like there by New Year's Eve. The winds are coming up from the Azores and around the top of that high pressure. Ensemble member number 10 shows that we have strong westerly winds, gale force winds on the 23rd of December, and it stays unsettled through the Christmas period. Again, particularly so for the north, less so for the south. And then as we run up towards the New Year, we start to build pressure, and actually quite quickly we get high pressure setting up over Scandinavia on this one and turn the winds into the east. So that's a lot colder by New Year on ensemble member number 10. That zonal flow really doesn't last very long at all, and we're back into high pressure and easterly winds by the New Year. 23rd December with ensemble member number 11. We're halfway through now. It all looks very stormy on this one up to Christmas Day. This is a real storm battering the country on Christmas Day. That would be quite severe for the northern part of the country. Another one comes through there on Boxing Day. This is a very stormy run. Ensemble member number 11. Let's hope that doesn't come off. Eventually that low pressure moves to the east after Christmas, and it turns the winds into the north, so it becomes colder there as we run up from Christmas into New Year on ensemble member number 11. Ensemble member number 12 starts off unsettled for the north and the west, running up towards Christmas and over Christmas as well. And then high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north as we run up towards New Year. This is how it finishes up on the 31st of December, possibly hinting that it's about to turn colder with winds going into the north. That's a very long way off, of course. Ensemble member number 13 shows that, again, stormy conditions just before Christmas up to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, all looking very unsettled. And we tried to build a bit of high pressure into the south on Boxing Day, but that doesn't really come to much, and it just stays pretty westerly on Ensemble member number 13 through towards the New Year. Ensemble member number 14 looking like that, so it's very unsettled as we run up towards Christmas, and then it becomes mild after Christmas with high pressure to the south, low pressure to the north. Again, this long fetch southwesterly dragging up the air from the Azores, so that one is a very mild one. Ensemble member number 15 up to Christmas shows high pressure. It's different. It shows high pressure building across the country for Christmas. So we don't have this unsettled wet and windy weather just before and over Christmas. This is just high pressure continuing. No other run has done what Ensemble member number 15 is doing for Christmas. After Christmas, we keep that high pressure going across the country, but it's gradually starting to weaken by New Year. So that'll be a very quiet Christmas and up to New Year period. A lot of frost and fog probably with that. That's a very different one compared to anything we've seen so far. This is number 16, looks stormy for the north on the 23rd of December, and it stays very unsettled through Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. Low pressure really dominating there, so lots of heavy rain over Christmas with Ensemble member number 16, wet and windy. And then after Christmas it just stays pretty flat with high pressure to the north, high pressure to the south I should say, low pressure to the north, bringing those westerlies through. Number 17 brings the low pressure in across the country, wet and windy up towards Christmas. And then Boxing Day, that low pressure slinks away to the south, and we get high pressure building very quickly over Scandinavia, turning the winds into the east. That's a colder one, and that high pressure sits around through up towards New Year. That's a colder one on Ensemble member number 17, and very quickly breaks out of that unsettled weather. Number 18 shows lots of stormy conditions up towards and over Christmas. Again, that looks quite horrendous for Scotland on Christmas Day. Then that low pressure gets out of the way, and high pressure building, taking over pattern after Christmas, running up to New Year. That will be very pleasant, mostly dry, and probably not overly cool either. Ensemble member number 18, this is the penultimate one, shows that, again, we run up towards Christmas on an unsettled note. The unsettled conditions take us into Christmas as well, and then going up towards the New Year, again, break out of that zonal flow, build the ridge back up from the south. That's mostly dry. Could be frosty in the south on that one. The north looks very mild. And then finally, Ensemble member number 20 shows that we have, again, very unsettled conditions for Christmas. That low pressure on a more southerly track with Ensemble member number 20 going down to the south. High pressure then builds in to the east quite strongly. Big ridge there builds from Scandinavia in towards Scotland, turning winds into the east. That's significantly colder running up towards the New Year. Mostly dry as well. And by New Year's Eve, actually, that looks like it's trying to get up towards Greenland, that ridge. So that could be setting up really quite a frozen New Year. So that's how the ensembles are looking with the GFS model tonight. I think we've fairly good agreement across the model for really unsettled conditions running up to Christmas, and probably going over Christmas, particularly Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, looking potentially a little bit stormy. That's probably over the top, but certainly bands of rain and pretty unsettled weather. From Boxing Day onwards, it all gets quite uncertain, I think. Some of the options are to keep this westerly going right way through to New Year, but to me, it looks like the model wants to build that ridge again just after Christmas. So I suspect that as we move from Christmas to New Year, we'll probably find high pressure building, and it'll be determined, the temperatures and what kind of weather we get in that high pressure will be determined exactly where it sits. Some of the options are to take it to the north and building over Scandinavia, in which case the winds were going to be east and it would very quickly become cold with risk of snow showers and night frost. I suspect, because of the way December has gone so far, what will actually happen is the ridge will just build over and sit over the UK, which will break us out of the zonal stormy spell, but probably won't do anything overly cold, although we could get frost and fog. And there is the option that the high pressure could sit just to the south and drag up very mild air right way through to New Year. We'd be unlucky if that happened, but it certainly is a possibility, and this December is turning out to be a pretty mild one. So that's how the GFS ensembles are looking tonight. Tomorrow we'll do, of course, the 22nd Christmas update. That'll be with you tomorrow evening. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.